Hi everyone, this is Rambabu Vasupilli, CEO of NCPL Group of Companies. In this video, I would like to discuss a very interesting topic. What is the role of location in the job search? In some of my earlier videos, I have clearly mentioned that when you prepare your resume, you should always mention the location in your resume. Location plays a very important role. So in this video, I'll explain those dynamics. So to understand the significance of location, you need to understand the how the geographic dynamics play a major role in the job market. Now, if you see, we can split the job market, IT job market of Canada into four regions. One is Ontario, or let's say Greater Toronto region. Another is Eastern region, Atlantic region, New Brunswick, Halifax, Nova Scotia, etc. And then Montreal region, Calgary, the central Canadian region, and the Western Canadian region, which is British Columbia. 70% of the job market is in Ontario. In fact, in Greater Toronto area, GTA. 10% of the market is in Eastern Canada and Montreal, and 10% of the job market is in Central Canada, Alberta, Winnipeg, and other provinces, and then Manitoba and other provinces, and then 10% of the job market is in British Columbia, majorly Vancouver. So this is how the job market is split into. So if you see, 70% of the job market is in GTA only. Now, let's say you are a person in GTA searching for a job in GTA. So, what location you have to mention? Mention your location as Toronto. In GTA, there are several locations, right? So, there are Mississauga, Brampton, Scarborough, Kitchener, Waterloo, and so many other locations, right? Even if you are in each individual location like Durham region or Waterloo region, always mention it as a Toronto. For example, let's say you are living in Kitchener and the company for whom you applied is in Markham. If you mention Kitchener as a location in your resume, then a company in Markham thinks, oh, I need this person to come to office daily. He is in Kitchener. The drive is 2 hours. I don't think he can come. So there is no point in inviting him for the interview, right? Even if I'm running a company in Markham, I won't invite a candidate in Kitchener to come for the interview and give a job offer. In fact, I faced it and I found a lot of problems having this approach. That's why strategically mention it as a Toronto. Markham is in Toronto, Kitchener is in Toronto. So for you to go till offer stage, there won't be any location hurdles. But don't try to mention it as a Kitchener in your resume. Mention it as a Toronto. Let's say you're in British Columbia and you applied for a job in Toronto. In such case, what location you should mention? Shall I mention Vancouver as my location in job search, or shall I mention Toronto as the location? My suggestion would be maintain two resumes. The resume is same, but in one resume the location will be in Vancouver, in another resume the location will be at Toronto. So when you are applying for jobs in British Columbia, mention Vancouver location. If you are applying for jobs in the rest of Canada, mention the location as Toronto. This way, what happens is if a company in Toronto opens your resume, they will see that your location is in Toronto. So, location is not going to be a barrier. They will try to talk to you, invite you for the interview, and so on. Now, if you have received an email from, or if the recruiter sees that your location, recruiter in Vancouver sees your resume, since it mentions as Vancouver location, you will be able to apply, or you can go till interview level in Vancouver location. Now the challenge happens um, when you prepare your LinkedIn, right? Because LinkedIn allows you to put only one location. You can't put two locations in LinkedIn because you can't put Vancouver and Toronto area. So if that is a problem, always mention Toronto because that is where the major share of the market is. If at all a recruiter in Vancouver, even though in resume mentions as Vancouver, but when he or she looks at your LinkedIn, if she sees Greater Toronto area, then they will call you and ask you, hey, you mentioned your location as Vancouver in resume, but in LinkedIn says Toronto. So you can tell smartly that you're currently in Toronto to come for some interview, but you are preferring to, search for job only in Vancouver location. So this is how you have to smartly play around. In Canada, getting a job is extremely difficult, not because there are no jobs in Canada, but these are the kind of dynamics which decide who can get a job easily, and you have to understand these dynamics and play your game. That way, the chances of you getting a job will drastically increase. I hope this video is helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to post it in the comments. I will be able to answer your questions. If you wanted to talk to me in detail, there is a calendar link that I mentioned in the video description. Feel free to set up the appointment and we can discuss. And also, if you find this video helpful, feel free to share it to your friends and like and comment and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.